What is a standard model of information maturity? Um, we could use a different model, but for this particular communication, we can look at it as four stages or three stages. On the subsequent side, you'll see that we have three blocks which can be overlaid over these four blocks. So we will come to that. So there are four blocks which is stage one, stage two, stage three, or stage four. So in digital transformation or information maturity of any enterprise, medium-sized enterprise, even a small enterprise, how effectively are you using data and information that you have? Initially, in stage one, it's probably a liability. You're not using your data very effectively. You may be just doing basics, getting your invoices out, billing, but you're not really using the data in any effective way to make uh, useful decisions. So in stage two, you start moving forward and to saying, can I improve? You will see on the next screen how exactly that movement happens from stage one to stage two. So in stage two, you're looking at uh, how can I improve on this information and in data that I have, and can I make this available to my suppliers and my customers? Is what I have useful to my customers? I'm talking about the information. If you're manufacturing something, you make something, you supply it to the customer pays you for what you've made. You're not leveraging your information at all. So that's a midpoint, uh, which is a move from first return on ROI to business extension, moving in the middle of the screen from an intranet to an extranet. Meaning that customers and suppliers can also look into your ERP systems, your IT, and are able to gain something from that. So that will be the extranet. The fourth stage is where you are able to leverage information that you have. You are able to manufacture something more effectively, or you're adding services to what you have supplied. It's a product lifecycle earning potential. It is aftermarket revenue potential, services related to what you have supplied. So that requires a certain set of information, maybe up through your value chain, from even from your suppliers into you, your value addition into customers. And where the customer does not mind paying a bit of his or her profits from their revenues, customers, and which can feed back into you. So that's what we really mean by an information maturity at a level four. So this differs from industry to industry, but this is a larger, wider conceptual way of how you can approach where your information maturity is. You can start at one and move to two, move to three, move to four. So if we look at the next slide, we'll see how this actually, so we can overlay this on the next slide. So think of the same thing, information maturity level one to level two to level three to level four. So let's just going back, assume that this has been overlaid onto this. So in the beginning, on the bottom left-hand corner, IMM1, information maturity level one, you're only into ops. And you're then moving into MIS, or management information systems. Then you're acquiring some know-how and data acquisition, and then eventually moving into insights and leveraging that information. So these are the four layers on the left that we're seeing. So how does that happen broadly? Okay, so this we just put it into three blocks. The blocks can be further subdivided. So if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you're trying to increase revenue from your IT expenditure, your ops, your information technology maturity, their information maturity. You're trying to reduce expenses. You're trying to achieve collaborative communications amongst all your staff, maybe between your suppliers and customers. They still are a part of ops. You're trying to see if your employees can be more effective, more productive, efficiencies, skilling them, growth, retaining them, because there's a high cost of bringing in new people. You're trying to do some proactive costing. There's no point in having costing after the fact. Can you cost well before the item is made? How do you manage your risks? Customer affinity, operational efficiency, product leadership, employee growth. These are things that you can move forward. These are components where you lay a good foundation. Do some very small things, simple things, even one or two very effective things, and then you can move forward from that position. So at a level two, at a block two, IT starts becoming the heartbeat. IT is a profit center. Um, Automation is starting to be achieved. Your IT is starting to become invisible. Uh, you're recognized in your industry for your IT. IT can be achieving. If you're an IT company itself, you can think of market share and what's your profitability, which eventually leads to the what there is talk of 4.0, manufacturing 4.0, artificial intelligence, deep learning, artificial neural networks, ANN, machine learning, analytics, big data, uh, Internet of Things. So all these technologies and others can be leveraged only when you're at a level 3 and going forward. If you're still at level 1, you'll have to still do the basics. You'll have to do the IMM2, IMM3 before you can achieve level 4. So this is how we look at information maturity at 4 layers, and how you can move from it being a liability, where IT seems to be a cost and an overhead. We are trying to save money by not spending money on IT, which is ridiculous, to moving it where IT becomes an enhancer and an enabler for you. So keep this in mind when you're looking at digital transformation.